ready?
Oh, we're rolling.
Oh, wow. Oh, cool. Yeah, so there's that one. We're not using those?
Hmm?
We're not using those? Okay.
No, the lights are out.
Alright.
I'm gonna sell you this.
Okay. I tend to lean in too.
I know, this is why I do
just,
this. It pushes me back, so
yeah,
I have to.
I'm gonna adjust my legs here. So I'm backwards.
Awesome. Okay. Explain who you are.
Alright, so you know who I am. But
I do.
I'm Eric Estrada. I'm a senior here at Rockbridge, obviously. And I'm 18, just turned 18 last month. Yeah.
I'm an adult.
Someone didn't show up to my birthday.
So
I have a brother that attends Rockbridge. He's a sophomore. His name is Christian Estrada. I have an older sister. She's 22, turning 23 in February. She's a senior at Lincoln University. She's graduating with a biology degree. She's majoring in biology with a minor in chemistry because of the chemistry class she's taking. I'm like, I can't even begin to comprehend or go. So, there's that. My dad, he's a old guy. Older man.
Older man.
Yeah. Love him to death.
Description.
Tough love. My mom. And, yeah, she's the one that basically has done it all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's an introduction to you.
Yeah.
Well, people don't really know that we
Yeah, it's true.
that we've known each other for.
Since, before kindergarten?
I like how we both.
Yeah, we
worked
don't
for a
did
while,
that. Yeah.
so I wasn't
See,
here.
it goes to show that we've known each other for a long time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember one specific memory that I remember. It's when we were just moving in. Your mom brought those cookies. I don't know where she got them from, but they were literally the best. I don't know if it was the cookies or if it was the memory.
I think we made them.
I think it was like you guys bringing them.
Yeah.
Too, so good.
Yeah.
But I don't know, but we loved them. They were great. Yes. They're like the best cookies.
Let's go 7-year-old me.
Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy.
And the funny,
years.
I remember that, but what happened, it was a separate memory to meeting you for the first time actually at school.
Yeah.
It's like we went to Blue Ridge Elementary.
Yeah, we did.
And we met each other, we were in the same class.
Yeah, we were.
And we were best friends.
Miss Egan?
Egan, was she there? Yeah.
Miss Egan, and then she changed her,
and then she moved to Texas or something like that.
No, she moved to Europe.
What?
Yeah, dude, yeah. I think I remember that, yeah.
Oh, jeez. Well, Texas is basically Europe. I don't know.
I mean,
it's
no.
the same size, relatively.
Kind of. Well, no. No, yeah. Wasn't her first name April? Or it was a month. That's all I remember.
Yeah, it was something.
It was a month. Oh, man, you remember Tyreekis? He would always cry.
What a man.
Yeah.
Or boy at that point.
Yeah, what a boy. No, now he's a man.
Yeah.
I don't know where he works.
But we went to so we went to school together.
Yeah.
And then we would tell each other, tell our parents about the other one.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually my mom was like, so your friend Eric? And I was like, yeah, what about him? And you're like, he lives down the street.
Yeah.
And it was
we didn't know.
Mind blown.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know that you lived down two houses.
Yeah, we were two houses down.
Just because you went to daycare, and so you were the daycare bus.
So I wouldn't drive.
So you wouldn't. No, yeah, you never took the regular bus until I saw you one time. It was bus 9. Bus 9, worst bus in the world. Oh my god. Dude, remember? That was the first time I got bullied. Was on bus 9. Do you remember? What's his name? Memory.
The name sounds familiar.
Memory. He had a younger sister.
Ironic, because his name's Memory.
Yeah. Well, his cousin was Scotty. It was Scotty and Memory.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
I remember
Scotty was my bodyguard for the bus. They were cousins, and I guess one time, inside of the blue, Memory's sister was like, yeah, he's annoying. And so he went up to me. He was like, you're annoying my sister. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking. Just started out crying. And then, do you remember Tiago? He had green blue eyes.
I think.
Super white guy. Yeah. And he was like, hey, freaking Memory, Get out of here. Like, go pick on some of your own side. I was like, thanks, Gianna. He was like, no, dude, mind your own business. And I was like, dang it. And so, yeah. And then Scotty was like, no, I got you, bro. I got you. It was like, dude, back off. He's cool.
I didn't get to see any of these bus charades.
Yeah, you did. Dude, one time they brought BB pellets and they just started throwing them. Yeah, one time I think they even brought scissors.
Blue Ridge was...
It was bad before.
Yeah.
It's gotten a lot better.
It's school. Really, it's a
okay,
good
but
school
why
now.
is it that when we left, they started going to like San Luis Zoo, they started going to like the they went to like everywhere. And I'm just like,
I remember
we went.
My brother and sister went. Yeah, my brother and sister went there, and they were telling me stories of like when they used to go to like the city, or they would go to the science museum.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
St. Louis.
St.
And
Louis.
be like, oh, we slept over there, and we got to like see all these cool things.
Yeah.
And then I think we were gonna go we were finally gonna go, and then it got rained out.
Rained out.
And
yeah,
we were like, how did you rain out?
I
On a
remember
school
that.
field
Oh,
trip.
that was 3rd grade. We were supposed to go 3rd grade. I was in Miss Aaron's class. You were in Miss what's her name? So Sullivan? No. Something like that.
She's gonna watch this and she's gonna be like, how dare he? But I remember sitting in that class and
you had her 2nd and 3rd grade.
yeah, and I remember sitting in a bathtub that she had in her classroom that was filled with stuffed animals, and that was like my favorite location.
Yeah.
Oh.
With your little Nokia.
Yeah, you could.
Those Nokia that never broke.
Okay. Did I get the Nokia?
Yeah, you did. 3rd grade. I remember that. Wait, was it 3rd and 4th that you had Miss?
No, I had her 2nd.
No, because you had Miss Monroe 4th grade. Yep. I remember that. It was the 3rd grade.
Yeah.
3rd grade, you had your phone. Everyone was like, "Oh, guys, a phone!" And we were like, "Wow."
Didn't really do anything.
No, you really.
I didn't text.
You texted your mom.
I texted my mom.
That's
but
it.
Man, that really was a status
Dude,
symbol.
yeah. They were like, "Oh shoot, guys, a phone!" Oh man.
Yeah. Oh man.
That's crazy.
That was only like a decade ago.
Yeah. Only.
But that feels forever. Well, I guess it's like half our life. A little more than
A little more than half our life ago.
So.
Crazy.
So
Wow.
you were not born in Columbia.
No.
You grew up in Logan, Utah.
Oh yeah, I was born in Logan, Utah. Sorry.
Born in Logan, Utah.
Yeah, I was born in Logan, Utah. Well, alright, so it's kind of weird. We jumped all over the place. So, my dad became a citizen in 1986.
Okay.
And then he moved back to Mexico. He met my mom. They got married. Long story short, they ended up in California. And next thing you know, my sister pops out in Hollister, California. That's where she was born. Actually, it wasn't even Hollister. It was a different hospital, but the birth city was Hollister. It was just so small, the Hollister.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we're just going to make. But, so yeah, they moved to California with and then they didn't really know what to do in California, so they moved near my uncle. I have a lot of uncles that live there, but it was the uncle on my dad's side. He's the successful one, in my grandparents' minds. But he created like this buffing machine thing and sold it. No, he hasn't sold it yet. He just
still has it?
Yeah, he designed his own machine for buffing,
Okay.
and he still has it, and he still runs his business, and he's pretty loaded.
He's doing well.
Yeah, he's doing well for himself, just like a lot of my other family members on my mom's side. But yeah, they moved there, and my dad worked for him, and then was like, "No, I'm not gonna work for you anymore." So like he worked like 3 different jobs. All at one time. Like he was a pizza delivery guy, and whenever that ended, like he was like working in a warehouse, and then he worked on the field and the farms over there in California. That's the one he hated the most, because he went through amnesty, the forgiveness program, and so he had to work on a farm. And oh my god, I think he worked at a lettuce farm, and he hated it. Oh man, it was like that sucked. I was like, I mean, they're giving you citizenship, so I mean,
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
And my godmother, which is also my aunt, my mom's sister, she was like, "Hey, we can get you guys a job here in Logan, Utah. It's a really nice up and coming town. Logan, Utah is like barely a thing. It's like the whole Cache Valley. It's like the county, Cache County. So it's like Boone County basically. But their county is like the size of Columbia. So yeah, Logan's really small. Teeny tiny bicicleta. But yeah, so they worked there in what's it called? A treadmill shared meal manufacturing place. I forget the name of it. My dad always talked about it every time we went. We went just in June, July.
June of this year?
Yeah, for my cousin's baptism. But yeah, they worked there, lived there, and then they were like, yeah, we don't really like Utah. And then my other cousin, Lore, she was like, hey, we can get you guys, my husband is the manager, banquet manager at Holiday Inn. Get you guys jobs at Holiday Inn. And we're like, okay. So struggled on over to Columbia, and
this was after they had you.
yeah, after they had me. So I was born into November 4, 2000. And I think 2001. We lived there for like maybe like 6-9 months.
Okay, yeah.
That's what the story I hear. And, like, we spent, like, my mom like went to Mexico so they can show me off for like 3 months, and they stayed there, and then they moved back to Utah, and went back to, because we never really, it wasn't really it was like temporary. Went back to Utah, picked up the stuff, and we were like, all right, Colombia. So we're here now. Time passes around. 2003, my brother pops out, and which is weird because my brother was born in February, but so was my sister.
Oh.
Yeah.
So they got the connection.
Yeah. So like, brother's the 5th, my sister's the 1st of February. So
I never remember those.
Yeah.
I never.
Well,
it's always
usually
celebrated
it's
on
on
like
Super
the
Bowl.
second.
no, it's usually celebrated on
Yeah.
Sunday, which is usually on the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So I can never do anything on those days. But I can watch the game. But yeah, my dad got a job at PepsiCo, and my mom just was a housekeeping at Holiday Inn.
Yeah.
And then she left that, worked at Tiger Maids, and then my dad was like, "Okay, I'll get you a car if you get your license." So my mom struggled every day to like teach herself how to drive because she never drove.
Yeah.
Like not even my
Never
grandparents.
before?
Yeah, no.
Wow.
My grandparents, they didn't have cars. Like none on either side. Like my dad's dad or my mom's mom.
Yeah. Nobody.
Nobody in that. No one drove. So they were like, okay, we're gonna teach Maria, which is my mom's name, to drive. And that was the scariest thing I think my dad has ever told me. He was like, yeah, your mom, horrible driver. She thinks she's bad now. Whew. Like, take it back like 10 years. Yeah, horrible. But she's never gotten into an accident. It's only gotten pulled over like once. But yeah, so she passed her test, barely. She got like a 70.
It's passing.
That barely. So yeah, they went to Perry Nissan when that was still a thing, and my dad was like, "All right, what do you want?" My mom was like, "All right, this one looks cool." So 2000 Nissan Xterra, I love that thing. We took it everywhere. We took it to road trips like to California, to Utah, we went to one time through Texas. But I think we only took it to Mexico like once.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think once. Yeah.
What?
But yeah, it was a beast. Still is a beast. But yeah, and then my sister grew up. She started working at Holiday Inn. My dad worked at Holiday Inn also for a banquet. He became a captain, is what they call it. A banquet, and then he left and like switched jobs frequently. And now he's at Jiffy Lube, which I just got hired at. So.
The same Jiffy Lube?
Yeah, they actually.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the same one at Columbia Mall. But yeah, my sister, she worked there, and then she left. Now she works at Right at Home, which is like the elderly care, assisted elderly care of the people's house. It's cheaper than senior
So yeah, they're kind of senior living.
Yeah. So yeah.
Hey. Yeah. And that's like, that brings, it's pretty caught up to now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was one thing I wanted to ask? So like family, knowing you, family's so important.
Oh, family is like.
I've seen that, like your explanation of just every detail that's going on.
Yeah. So like family, it's like the most important thing to me. I think that because like I have a lot of family members. It's always like I have someone I can count on. Like I have like 100 cousins. I have on both sides. Like I have 100 cousins over here, 100 cousins over here. I'm like, if I don't like these cousins, I got these cousins. If I don't like these, I got my brothers. You know,
So you
my
always
brother and my
got
sister.
somebody.
I always got somebody, and that's like nice. And I also like that. We like smaller house, so we were forced to communicate.
Yeah.
And forced to kind of like each other. And I share a room with my brother, so we kind of have to like each other a little bit. But yeah, so like family is like really one of the most important things to me. And like another thing is like trust.
Mm-hmm.
That's like one of the two most important things in my life.
Yeah. Kind of jumping back to like when you first got into Colombia, is you are an amazing human being who is able to speak 2 languages.
Oh right, yeah.
And your primary language is not English.
Yeah, no, actually my first language is Spanish.
Yeah.
But so was my sisters and my brothers. We were all raised like speaking Spanish because my mom doesn't really know English, but she's going to classes for that. But my dad, he's the one that does know English like fluently. Actually, fun fact: before my parents moved to the States, my dad applied for an English professor job at a university, and they were like, okay, if we get this, it was in Mexico City where they were building their house. They're like, my dad was like, okay, if I get the job, then we can stay here. If not, we can pack our bags and leave. Didn't get the job, so the next day, they were like, all right, I guess we're going to the United States. So start doing that.
That one job was good.
Yeah.
But I mean, like that. I mean, it's helpful to be. If you're that good that you're applying for English professor jobs.
Yeah. My dad. That's one of the the good things that I like. Being able to have at least one parent that speaks somewhat English and understands. But another thing about my dad is that he graduated high school. My mom, she dropped out basically the equivalence of 8th grade. But my dad, he finished high school and he was attending one semester at a technical college, and that's where he learned a lot of these things. And he just dropped out because over there in Mexico, it's like that corrupt that you have to pay for your position and like.
Yeah, it's just
that's
hard
how
to
it used to be.
continue
Yeah.
to like easily
And like
get there.
he was paying for his own college, and like he would go from school 8 hours to work in 8 hours. Like he was
And then you'd
so
sleep
whenever
the
I
last
started
8
doing
hours.
that, he didn't see it as a problem. So like he was like, oh, don't be tired. Like you're not tired. You just gotta go to work. You just gotta pull through with it. I'm like, okay, sure. And not very good.
Yeah.
But
like having that.
having that.
Speaking that language, kind of do you think that was like helped in like having that nuclear family that kind of helped? It was like that interconnection.
Yeah. So like, like I said, my mom only speaking Spanish. We had to only speak in Spanish, and so like, anytime we were out and about, like I would talk to my brother and my sister like in Spanish. We were like, and so whenever I went to school, like it was weird. I was like, everyone's speaking English. I was like, what? And so I remember we were in Miss Egan's class, and I was just looking around, and I was like, wow, there's a lot of people that I don't know. So I saw you, and I was like, okay, Kai's here. I don't know anyone else, but Kai's here, so you can help me. And actually, I knew English. I learned it in preschool.
Yeah.
I went to preschool at West Boulevard, and I had my friend. His name was I think Miguel. Miguel. That was I was his translator because I knew barely a little bit more English than he did. So like anytime Miguel was like, "Oh yeah, I don't know what que está diciendo." That was like, I don't know what she's talking about, and so I'd be like, okay, he doesn't understand what's going on. Like in the best way that I could. Yeah. And she'd like try and explain it to me, and I'd try and explain it to him. I'm like.
You're that like intermediary.
Yeah. I'm like that middleman. I was like, But like my dad, he was the one that kind of also pushed English onto us, just because he knew that we were gonna be like using
interacting.
With people. But I was never in ELL class. My brother and my sister were. My sister wasn't until like 5th grade. She didn't know any English. She was dumb in that portion. Like she's book smart, but she's not English smart. And my brother, he graduated like 7th grade out of the ELL. And so, like.
I know we used to always talk about how you could speak English and Spanish.
Yeah. And
Christian could only speak Spanglish.
Yeah, Spanglish, yeah. Christian, I can speak English and I can speak Spanish. My sister can speak English and Spanish. Christian can't speak either. He struggles with both. Oh, man.
Shout out to Christian.
Shout out to Christian. I love that guy. Even though he usually hates me. Brother love.
Yeah. Well, I pointed it out because when I would see you going to like in your actual like at home, and I'd go and hang out with you.
Yeah.
And kind of like it was like you would like open up. It was like a cocoon.
Yeah.
Like open up. You'd be like, all right, so now I get to like I can interact how I want to interact.
Yeah.
It was no longer because I think there's like a notion that we sometimes get where like language kind of puts on a lens of whoever you're not understanding.
Right.
Is like dumber or they're less intelligent. And now I'm gonna go get that door.
Okay.
And they left.
Okay.
Awesome.
Nice.
Thank you. Useful. Oh, but so they kind of this idea that if you're. Hello?
Huh?
George?
Hey.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're good?
I thought like people just left the lights on here.
No.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, you're good.
So
Yes.
So they have this idea that like they're less intelligent because they couldn't understand. But like I would see, like when you'd go back to school and you go back home and it would just be like completely like all right, yeah,
That's
back to
change scene.
all right, you're good. But like I could additionally I could see that like kind of your development in language happened like with English and like English that you just can do because you spoke for me and I became the one who was like trying to fumble for like Spanish words.
Right, yeah. You were always, and my mom always made fun of you for saying sure. No. Like she would ask him like, hey, do you want some enchiladas? And he'd be like, sure. And then like she would answer for him. She'd ask. She'd be like, do you want some enchiladas? She's like, sure. And so yeah.
Because it's a happy medium.
Yeah.
Yes, but like I don't want to sound desperate. So I don't say yes. I can't say. I don't say no because like I want the food.
Yeah.
Amazing.
My mom's cooking is
best. It's my favorite.
Amazing.
So good. But I could see like that development happen. And so I was like, I liked that idea of like not only did it push you to have a more trust and like connection to your family, but it also kind of developed those emotions. Like, do you feel like that's kind of what happened?
Yeah, like I don't know how to explain that, but like being able to like go from speaking one language to the other and like still trying to portray the same emotions was like kind of hard at first because there's like even now there's like words that I don't know in English that I know in Spanish and like vice versa. And it more so happens with, like, there's a lot of slang that I use in Spanish because I was never taught formal Spanish. It was all, we call it el rancho, which means, like, farm. Yeah, and so I was taught, like, that. I was taught that Spanish. And so it was, like, the words never had an actual meaning. Like, there's, like, I was watching a video, there's, like, 20 words that I say, like frequently that have no like translation in English. Like there's always like it's like a phrase. Like one word is like a whole phrase in English. And I don't remember like exactly which ones. But so like that was like really difficult. But like whenever I got home I could be like, yes, okay, I'm like
everyone understands.
Safe. Like yeah, it's like my dad knows what I'm talking about, my mom knows what I'm talking about, my sister, my brother. You know, I was just like my brother kinda. But like it was like difficult.
Yeah.
But like
it's kind of has it gotten gotten better with age? Obviously you're a lot more fluent in English, but like did that like flow between them?
Kind of. I mean because I like obviously my English vocabulary is like expanding, but so is my Spanish, and like I go to Mexico frequently, so I pick up on new words. I was working at Columbia Land Care, and a bunch of like Spanish speakers like work there because of the H2B program. They would hire workers and bring them over, and so I would work with them, and I'd be their translator too. The first day at work, my manager Ryan, he took me out to the property so I could meet my new crew leader, and before I got to say a word, my crew leader's name was Mitch. Mitch was like, he didn't say anything. He just went like this. He said, "Hola, me llamo Mitch." Stuck out his hand. I'm like, "Hi, I'm Eric." He was like, "You speak English? Thank God." I was like, "Yeah, no, yeah, I'm a senior rock band." He's like, "Oh, you don't understand how hard it is to talk to Freddie." I'm like, "Yeah, he's my cousin." He's like, "You're his cousin?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, thank God." Because my cousin is really good and really quick. All of my family members are.
Mm-hmm.
They're known as conejos, which means rabbit, because of how fast they
Yeah.
work. Yeah, and it's like my whole uncle, like his dad, his brother, his other brother, they're all known conejos. The big conejo and the conejitos. And they're the conejitos, they're the little rabbits, because they're always moving so fast and they get their work done really quick. And so yeah, that happened, and it was really funny. But
yeah. Well, that prompted something else, just as like kind of open up. Did you? That interaction obviously was like funny in that regard, but like that kind of assumption or like I don't know. I could see ways in which
I can see how it can be offensive to some people. To me, it wasn't. I don't really get offended by much of anything unless because it was more innocent than anything. He was just trying to be polite and talk to me in Spanish because he thought I was a Spanish speaker. Given like 80% of the workers were Spanish speakers, and at the time I had a dark tan, so like I looked the part, but I was just like, no, I also speak English. It was like, wow, you're a blessing, and I was like, wow, thank you. But yeah, like I more so don't get offended by those things as much as someone else would. As much as like some other people that aren't even like part of like, let's say like Mexican, they call it like a culture appropriation, and like I kind of get more offended with that, like if they're trying to speak for us instead of someone like doing that. Like if it's an honest mistake, if it's like if it's like rude and derogatory, then yeah, of course I'm gonna get like a little upset, but I don't find it as offensive as some people would.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I've asked about it like throughout our lives, but I guess I've never really like actually acknowledged it.
Yes.
I liked it too.
Yeah.
Speaking of, really abrupt transition, but speaking of lawn care and like you actually had like, this isn't a joke or anything, but like this is like you actually enjoy doing agriculture and stuff like that.
So
how did you get into what draws you to agriculture?
Okay, so all my life, like all my cousins and uncles, like Freddie, my cousin that came to work for Columbia Land Care, he's a farmer. His dad's a farmer. His brother's a farmer. Like my other uncles, they're all farmers. My tío Lalo, they're farmers. My other uncle, he's a wholesaler. Like it runs in my family on my mom's side. My dad's side, no. My uncle was a farmer, but he kind of died. Unfortunate death, but all my like family and like previous generations have been farmers, and like my dad wasn't, so I was like, what happened? I was like, what happened?
Why you do this?
Yeah, I was like, but my dad really liked cars, so he followed his passion, and so I could never work in an office job. It's just not as rewarding to me, because like you're not, I don't see what I'm doing. Like you can like paperwork, but like I don't like paperwork. Like it would feel like I'm behind bars and like restricted to a certain domain. Wow, man. And just like not as rewarding. Like you're putting in hard work, but like it's not like You're not like sweating.
There's no sense of accomplishment.
Yeah, there's no
right?
sense of accomplishment. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like, I don't know what it is. It's just blue collar jobs is what, like.
No, not you.
Yeah, white collar I can't do. Like blue collar is just like my bread and butter.
Bread and butter.
Yeah, like I might not look like it. Like my mom didn't think I was gonna last more than like a day at Columbia Land Care because I left Chick-fil-A and my mom was really happy with that pay, like how much Chick-fil-A paid because it was really good. For serving chicken, you know. And I was like, no, I want to work with my cousin Freddie. Like I want to work like him. I want to learn how to work with my hands and do things, be able to see it. And so I quit Chick-fil-A, and my manager Jerry was like, hey, I know we agreed for this date, but can you start like day after school? I was like, yes. Like he's like,
we get started.
he's like, yeah. I was like, yeah. Let's jump on this. Let's do this now. And so I went over to Columbia Land Care. We were at Rockridge State Park when I got the call, and he was like, I need you to come pick up this paperwork like right now. And I was like, bet. So I went, and then the next day started, and that's where the whole Mitch interaction started with, hola, me llamo Mitch, and I was like, hi, I'm Eric. And so yeah, that was really funny, but yeah, that's how that whole ordeal started. And I can't just like
You can't put it down.
Jared.
Yeah.
Just not right to me.
I understand that.
Some people I understand why they do it, like why they can
sit down and like do work as in an office job as opposed to like having it's a different type of accomplishment that doesn't actually work for everybody. It's like
it doesn't work for me. Like me, construction, like construction, lawn care, like moving, me having to move. Like, like my hand gestures. It's another like huge Mexican thing. All my uncles, my cousins, everyone does it. Whenever we're talking about a story, we're just moving our head. Yeah, I just really can't control it. One time it was my cousin Licho. He came from Monterrey, which is in Nuevo Leon, which is 2 hours away from Laredo, Texas. And we were at the flea market because they wanted to go look for vintage things. And so we went, and my dad was telling a story, and they were both using hand gestures. And my cousin was like pointing at someone like in reference to a female. He was talking about like a story that involved a female, so he pointed at someone, and that lady got really confused, and she was like, "Did you just point at me?" And my dad had to explain to her like, "We just
this is how we talk."
Like I really can't. Like it's just.
Just gotta put them away.
Yeah, it's just. I can see how it's like distracting, but I just have to do it.
Yeah.
It's.
I understand. It adds. It's character, like living in the moment.
Yeah, like it helps describe and like visualize it in my head, and like it's like a TV, like I can watch it.
Yeah. Well, increase the intensity and the volume.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. I feel like people are understanding. We're becoming more alike as we're becoming more alike as we.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. All right. Awesome.
I really just do have to keep moving. It's weird. Also, like the leg thing. Bouncing the leg. I got that from my dad. He does it all the time. I saw him doing it, so I was like, I want to be like my dad. So I started shaking my leg.
Gotta start bouncing. And it just doesn't stop
and he
bouncing.
moved legs, and I was like, oh shoot, now I gotta learn on this leg. So I was like, how does he? And then I was like, oh, just do that. And so I just started doing both legs. Switch. I was like, oh. You know? Because I really wanted to be like my dad, and I was like, not anymore. I want to be my own person.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I like that. So that's present.
Yeah.
Kind of. And what do you see as the future?
Future?
Or, like what plans are in your head?
So one thing I stand behind is that this is a religious thing, but if you make plans for the future, God just laughs. Because like you know, he's like, you think, but so like I don't like to plan that far in the head, but it's nice to visualize and have an idea of what you want to
or
do.
at least different
of what you want
paths.
to do, and like different paths that you can follow. Like I really wanted to be in the military and join the Marines, and I thought that was my calling. but just like one thing led to another, and I'm still gonna do the ASVAB, but it's more of a backup plan.
As opposed to like,
yeah,
this is what I'm doing.
yeah, exactly, right. Because I like very patriotic, unlike my sister. She's like patriotic, but it's to a certain degree. Like I'm like here and she's like here. But also with like the military, I'm very protective of my family and my friends and people that I care and love for. So that would give me a sense of fulfillment, being able to go out there and protect them. But then I was like, oh, wait, what if something happens here? So I was like, oh, maybe I could be a cop and protect them here. Then I was like, maybe not. Then I took marketing and at the Career Center, sophomore year, and I was like, I think this is what I want to do. So I thought about it, and it was sophomore year, it was junior year.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm really good at it. And like I'd previously done like business stuff because I've always like learned from my mom because she runs her own business now, and I help her out with that, like sending like messages and everything. So like my interpersonal skills are like a lot better than a normal person's would.
Oh yeah.
And like I don't know why, but I can like really easily talk to people.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel shy, but then once I get the icebreaker in and like we're talking, like I can talk to adults easier than I can with like high school students because I feel like I can relate more to them than normal high school kids.
Yeah, because of things you've been through and stuff.
Like I've had to, I had to really I didn't really have a chance to have a childhood. I had to grow up quick because my dad was out of work and I had to help pay the bills and I not like pay myself, but like
at least
manage
or supplement.
Yeah, manage when I had to pay them and like actually go through the process of like call people, and so that made me like grow up quicker and so yeah, it kind of sucked that I never really had a childhood, but that's like why I also strive and work hard. So like if I have kids, I want to have kids, but like when that happens, if that happens, like I want to be able to provide for them and give them a chance to have the childhood that I didn't wasn't able to have. Like my life was good for what it was, for like the cards that I was dealt, but I want to be able to provide a better future for my kids.
You want to give a better hand.
Yeah, better hand. I wanna give them a royal flush. But
life always and God, like the powers above.
Yeah.
We tend to set our sights on something, and all of a sudden we're like,
shift.
All right, okay. Oh no, we're gonna go back here, right? Okay, goodbye.
And you got a pair in your hand, and then you got two aces. Yeah. You see the third ace, and you're like, ooh, I might try it for
But then
go all in.
Else has got.
And then you go all in, and then somebody has a royal flush, and you're like, dude, that's not even possible. And then you're like, cheater.
Playing
and
a
then
different game.
Yeah,
we're playing Go Fish.
You're like, oh, I'm all in. I got a royal flush. Yeah, dude, we're playing Go Fish.
Yeah.
You're like,
oh. Right.
I was planning to play this game. I was like, in my head, I was playing this game. I'm going to blame that. And like, that's another thing. Like, blaming, like, throwing blame on other things besides on yourself. Like, taking responsibility for something, that's always, like, being honest and taking responsibility for my actions is something that I've always, like, held super high in morals.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, my mom, I could never lie to her. Like, she'd ask me a question, I'm like, she'd be like, what time did you go to sleep? And I'm like, 10.
Man,
10.
I mean, the sun was down.
10.
I know.
I was like, 10? She's like, 10 minutes before 12? I was like, yeah. But, like, yeah, it's like something that's super personal to me. Like, if I give someone my trust, I really hope they keep it, because once they don't keep it, or like they hurt me, or something,
kind of like gone.
Yeah, it basically creates a wall, and I can't deal with that.
Yeah.
Like there's like a certain extent of how I treat people.
Mm-hmm.
Like I try to treat everyone with respect. But respect is also earned, not given. regardless of what people say. I honestly don't believe in the respect. I respect elders, but they kind of have a kind of higher one, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So they get more respect than more people. But if it's like a normal high school student, I'm not gonna respect them as much as I would.
Yeah.
So like you, because like respect and trust are not like given. So yeah.
That's so powerful. Yeah, that's powerful. I mean, it's a thing of the vibes.
Yeah, it's like so. It's like to you, it's like wow. To me, it's I don't know.
Yeah. Sweet. Yeah. Well, so thank you so much.
Yeah,
for
no
having this
problem.
conversation.
Thank you for
Okay.
looking for a handshake because I thought I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People can go and read the story in the newspaper.
Oh yeah.
Get a little extra about things you may not have touched on.
Yeah.
She said. Okay.
Cool.
Bam.
Check out my YouTube channel with Noah and Kellen. Team Jack Sands.
I'll tag it in the.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.